Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Neiman and Judy Ritchie.
Hello, and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you in the community know how you can lend a helping hand to a program or agency in need. I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family.
And I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center. And as you can tell by our set decor, this is the October edition of Helping Hands. We're so glad that you could be here and join us. Where can you see us? You can see us on Oshkosh Media, on Life TV, Channel 2. You can listen to us on the radio at 101.9 FM. Also go to the Oshkosh Media website and you can get a scheduling of when our program plays. Not only our program, but also the other wonderful programs that are on Life TV and Government TV. We have a jam-packed show today with lots of information. Also want to take this time to thank Aurora Healthcare, who is our sponsor. We really appreciate that. They renewed again this year to be our monetary sponsor, so because of that, we can be on the air. And also Harnix Flowers and Gifts on 9th, who is our set design. And Judy, we have two wonderful guests with us today.
We do, and I know both of them. One is a person that we've worked with off and on for a number of years, Lorraine Yarborough, and the other is a lady that I've known, a retired school teacher, Cherie Zellner. And they're both of them representing the warming shelter.
Thank you for having us on.
Oh, we're so glad you could be here.
Thank you.
And the warming shelter, people have all different kinds of ideas about it. So you want to just give us a brief overview, please?
Sure. What we do, we're actually a temporary housing for the homeless in the Oshkosh area. Actually, we do have people that travel through that are homeless also stop in. But we're only open from October 15th through April 15th.
So that's why you're on this show today.
That's why I'm on. So we're launching. We're getting ready to
Yeah.
open our doors. We're going to kick off on October 15th and excited. We are, because of the facility right now where we're at 25 guests. We call them guests per night. And they will stay at night they come at 6 o'clock. They get a nice warm meal, a nice warm shelter, shower, do their laundry, and a good night's sleep. And then in the morning we give them breakfast, and then unfortunately they're back outside until the following night. So we're open every night starting October 15th through April. And it really is about giving a safe, warming shelter.
And on the screen right now was your mission statement and also some wonderful pictures that talk about your warming shelter. Mm-hmm. So when did you guys officially open? What year?
We're on our sixth season. Our sixth season will open in October, and we're excited. We've been into a lot of training, a lot of preparation. We've been putting it out there, all of our needs, and the volunteers are helping us get ready. And so we're getting everything in order to open our doors on October 15th.
And Cherie, as a volunteer, I know you've been involved for quite a while over there. And what are some of the things that you do?
Well, I got involved after I retired as a teaching in the Oshkosh area public schools for 35 years.
And thank you very much for doing that and educating our children.
Well, thank you for that compliment. It was, just a wonderful, wonderful career. But what I realized when I retired is, suddenly I had this gift of time. And I was already babysitting grandchildren, but there were still, lots of hours left in the day. And I said to myself, what can I do? Well, I always had a passion for people who were in need, whatever it had been. And I certainly had my experience with enough families who were in the homeless, category. And so I was thrilled when a couple of very, very wonderful people in the community of Oshkosh decided that they were going to work very hard to bring shelter for the homeless to Oshkosh. And it took their vision to get this to come to fruition. And like I said, I've been there since it opened, and what I've done is just whatever, has been needed along the way.
So how long were you officially retired before you started on this new truck in your life?
Well, this is my 6th year of retirement. And so
So you probably went
She
into
didn't
it
waste
right away.
She didn't waste time.
They gave you the cake and the retirement cake.
And she took the cake to share with the people at the
That's
shelter.
shelter.
That's
like
right,
I
she
said,
did.
the timing of it all kind of just fell into
That's
place
really, really
easily
nice.
for me. And as I said earlier, I do have to admit it was a little bit scary at first. I went to my first meeting and saw all of the people there, the board members, and of course they had no idea what to expect either, not having, had something like this in the community before. But they went with their vision, which is like with any new project, and we all just worked together as a team, as I guess I call it a family. And there's been a lot of changes over the years, like with anything that's new, all the growing pains, but the changes, I do have to say, are for the better, and just a great need fulfilled in this community, and very thrilled to be working with our new director here, Lorraine.
Well, you have the best mission statement right there.
I know.
For
Okay,
everybody was
we're
right,
done.
right there. And then you have Lorraine, who is just a quiet, timid, shy person.
I am.
That,
I know.
you
She
know.
never speaks up.
No.
But it's so nice to see because we've seen the growth over the years from when it first started because we've had different, like leadership,
Sure.
Oshkosh youth and adults
Yeah.
involved in it, and to see the growth that there has been and the support, which I think is great monetarily, and also the different groups that come in to do different things. Would you like to talk about the groups that make it possible for you?
Absolutely. The community is just, like you said, it's just been open their arms. The community and the compassion that the different church organizations, school organizations, individuals, different agencies, and people that collaborate to come together. We have about 350 to 380 volunteers a year. They come in. Right now we're getting all the calls for, because we're stocking our shelves, because we're getting ready to open. And as you can tell, the weather's been a lot cooler right off the bat, but we need to stock the shelves with warming, hats, gloves, etc. And so people are just bringing in the donations now, left and right now,
Very nice.
down to underwear. We don't realize those very personal care items that our guests need. And so the communities come together, and those meals, oh my gosh, we couldn't do without Scott and I were talking about 4,500 meals we provided, really close to 9,000, because you count dinner and then you count breakfast, because they do go out with a nice warm breakfast, a bag. So by putting together these meals, the volunteers are groups, and it's great for youth that are learning about giving back. And you cook the meals, they bring them in, they serve it to our guests, and they eat with the guests, and our staff eat together. So like you were saying, it's a family, but we're here also to try to socialize with our guests and provide as much of that self-sufficiency and compassion as we can. We work with the universities, interns, groups from the university classes are coming in to help us out too. So it's just really warm.
And you started with the right attitude because, number one, you call them guests.
Correct.
And number two, there's the interaction between the volunteers and the guests, which I think really makes the guests feel special. You know, that they're not just here because they have to be, but they're here because they're receiving something from you, and the volunteers are receiving something back. The chance to help out.
And the thing is, anybody wants to volunteer. Every volunteer needs to go through an orientation. Like Sherry was talking about how you just were nervous and overwhelmed, what to do. But it's wonderful because we do provide that training.
So 18 years old on our screen right now.
Correct. 18 years and older can come on their own. We do have some younger ones, but they have to be accompanied by an adult. And we go through that training so they can understand the environment in which they're working or volunteering for. So it's just very important. They can contact us, either warming shelter, or call us. And
now the number on the screen, whose number is that?
Well, that's our administrative office. That would be myself, and it'd also be Mackenzie, who's now our volunteer coordinator.
So for our people in our radio audience, we have many listeners.
Yes.
The number is 203-4596.
Correct.
They can call in if they want to volunteer, or if
Right.
they want to donate, or if they want more information.
Absolutely.
And you talked about your main areas that you use, which is on the screen too. Our crew is so great because we just say it and it's right there
Yeah.
for us. So do you want to talk a little about, because sometimes people don't think of committees
Right.
and board of directors as volunteers.
Sure.
They just don't equate that sometimes, but they
Yeah.
are giving their time and their
Absolutely.
talent for the leadership end of it. So
Absolutely.
let's talk about your board.
Okay, we are growing board. They've had some transition, like we were talking over the years. We've just brought on some wonderful community members that are coming on between in the healthcare. We've got social work. We have strategic planning. We actually threw an attorney now on board. We have, like I said, social worker, marketing, finance, and retired that have been in the school or were involved in the community one way or another, human services. Just really, you need a little bit of every expertise because, like you said, they're all volunteer board members, and they all bring a wealth of knowledge. In order for us to run efficiently, in order to provide these quality services, we have such wonderful volunteers and help. Now from there, the committees is because we do have to raise money. As we know, that's why we're nonprofit, no money, but that is really truly our funding truly comes from donations and grants, an annual campaign, and now we're going to be starting some new fundraisers, but that is what really sustains us, and we need those donations to keep us going and with the volunteer time. So again, we have a lot of opportunities. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. We're just growing leaps and bounds and just excited for where we're going.
Well, and one of the things, and I'll go back to your meal teams.
Yeah.
Our youth group at church got really excited about it and came with, I believe it was Deacon Sandy, last year. And we have 4 sisters from Franciscan Courts that live in our apartment building. And they sign up for at least 1 or 2 of the meals. And they're always sort of checking out what kind of recipes, what kinds of things they can bring. And it gets to be a really big production, and they're just so excited about it. And I think that translates to how other people feel about it and more willing to get involved.
Absolutely.
So do you want to talk about that for a moment, because you rely on groups, whether it could be the scouting groups, church groups, civic groups. Why does the meal have to be all ready and set to go? Do
Well,
you want
prepared right now because of the building. The Most Blessed Sacrament Church has been absolutely wonderful, pretty much donating the use of the space, and because of the regulations, basically, if you will, the city council, you cannot. It's not set up in order that we can cook the meals. Even though we have a wonderful kitchen, there's not the proper, sprinkler system. It's just part of right now where we're at. So, in order to have the right system, and it's great because we'd have to hire more staff to be able to come in and cook the meals all the time. And I don't know, I'd be with the sisters going through the recipe books all the time. That would be the next segment. We could come up with submit your recipes for
a cookbook?
A cookbook.
It's a fundraiser right there.
There
It's
we
a
go.
fundraiser.
We're good.
Well, there we go.
But it isn't just sloppy joes all the time.
No.
I mean,
They have
people are
wonderful
coming
meals.
in with some really nice family
They
meals,
do.
not just those.
And they're always hot,
quick ones.
which
Yes.
is
Always.
hot family meals.
So that would be a challenge then to groups out there in our community, because we
Sure.
have tons
Sure.
of groups that could come in. They bring everything you need. So they
Correct.
bring the utensils,
Right.
the food.
We actually have the utensils and
Oh.
the plates and all that. Are able to use that, and we're able to wash the dishes. Just
Okay.
can't cook.
Okay.
So the meals are prepared. They set up, and they serve the guests as the guests are coming in. Every night they have to go through an intake process. They walk through the door because, in fact, we can't have them bringing in any drugs, alcohol, etc. So they go through a process where they come in, and then as each guest comes through, then our volunteers and or our staff are meeting them greet them at the door. They go through the process, and then they are able to go downstairs, and then they can start eating. We've actually had some groups come and entertain, some music, and we actually Wednesday a group from the university, the college, they come in on Wednesdays and go up to the gym upstairs and offer either some kind of activity. They can play games or chess, music. So
That's
these
really
university
neat.
students are doing some kind of that interaction because you need that social interaction. So it just works out great. Like I said, it's all the community coming together.
Now, our time is limited, but you brought a big purse.
Oh, I did. Oh my gosh, I have to show this.
And I saw this at the last time
we were together.
that we met for our meeting. And can you show this and explain?
Oh, this is exciting.
We talk about donations and we talk about people making things.
AT&T Telephone Pioneers come together, and what they do for our guests, especially because when we have 26 guests, we can only take 25. So there's one guest that unfortunately we have to turn away at the door, which just breaks your heart. So what the AT&T Pioneers have done is they put together, and these are all the recycle of our grocery bags.
Which I
and
think is just
this
amazing.
is a mat, and what they do, they put them in strips, and they crochet. It takes about 120 hours and over 600 bags. So if you see this, it's made with a plastic bags, but they're hand crocheted, and the guests will go out with this, so they're not laying on the cold wet ground. Some can use it for warmth, and so they've done over 100 and something
Right.
mats for us.
That is
In
amazing.
the picture in your brochure, Lois Carolina, she's very active with the cutting of the strips and
She's
everything.
very involved. It was
Yeah.
Lois.
So
and
what
the
name the
brother.
group again that's doing this?
It's the AT&T
Okay.
Telephone Pioneers.
No, thank
And
you.
again, Sherry, you must like this because as a teacher, it's show and tell.
Yes, here we
That's
go.
how you get to
We're
show
just
us.
so excited. These are just some ideas, and we have a lot of our wonderful volunteers that knit scarves and mittens and hats and
The practical
and
stuff.
Absolutely.
Our
So-
time is winding down. We're going to have you guys back because there's much more to talk
yes.
about of what your needs and all that are. But we're so thankful and grateful that you could be here, especially to help the guests in our community who need help.
We're
So,
having
John, excuse me, may I say one thing?
sure.
I would like to quote one of my favorite people, Albert Schweitzer. Wherever you turn, you can find someone who needs you. Even if it is a little thing, do something for which there is no pay, but the privilege of doing it. Remember, you don't live in a world all of your own.
And what,
Awesome.
there's no more fitting way than to end
No.
this first segment. Thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you also to our audience, and stay tuned. We'll be back for our second segment of Helping Hands.
If you have expired or unused medication, don't flush it, pour it down the drain, or toss it in the trash. Safely dispose of unwanted or expired medications at the drug drop box located inside the Oshkosh Police Department. It's convenient and anonymous, safe and secure, and it's open to everyone 24/7. Drop off your prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, pet meds, and more. Keep drugs out of the reach of children and out of our water supply. Dispose of unwanted or expired medications at the drug drop box. For more information, visit the Oshkosh Police Department website at oshkoshpd.com.
Wisconsin is losing our World War II veterans. If you were a World War II veteran, or you know one who hasn't gone on an honor flight to D.C., please help us. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association is partnering with all Wisconsin honor flight hubs to make sure every eligible vet remaining who served their country so selflessly gets the chance to go. It's time for them to see their memorial. It's time for their flight. To learn more or to make a donation, go to wisconsinhonorflight.org.
Hi, welcome back to our second segment of our October edition of Helping Hands. In this segment, we like to talk about what's going on in our community and what maybe you can become involved with, or just to know a little more about Oshkosh, which is Event City. As you know, the United Way kicks off their partnership campaign, which is a great opportunity for people to support local not-for-profit agencies by designating money either at their place of business or give directly to the United Way. Aurora has been doing something for 13 years, which I think is unique, and other companies have used it now, and we do a gift basket bonanza. 13 years we've been doing it. It's hard to believe, 13 years. I don't feel that much older. But we have something called a gift basket bonanza, where each department makes gift baskets, themed gift baskets, and we auction them off in a silent auction format. And the money goes to the Aurora Partnership Campaign or the United Way, wherever the person designates. Last year we had 28 baskets, and we raised over $5,000 to benefit Aurora Partnership Campaign and the United Way. So we're doing that again this year on October 25th and 26th. Just a chance for me, since Aurora is sponsoring the show, to thank all of our caregivers at Aurora who make and donate the wonderful baskets.
In those baskets, each department competes against one another to see which one can have the most fantastic
Yes.
one.
Oh, doing
absolutely
competition.
gorgeous. Yes. And another project that we're all of us supporting is the Salvation Army Coats for Kids. And during the month of October is a great time to donate gently used or brand new coats for kids or even for adults. And then in early November, they're distributed to the community. So if you look on the screen, it's requesting volunteers to help with the program. It's also donations. Contact Sherry Waldron at the Salvation Army, 232-7860, or I'm sorry, 7660.
And also then, it's not just coats for kids. So they will accept coats for kids
For adults.
of all ages, I call it. And also, if you're looking, the Salvation Army does list the drop-off sites. Aurora is one of the agencies that have drop-off boxes either in the hospital or in the clinic or at Doctor's Court or at the 700 building. So if you have a gently used or a new jacket or also mittens, scarves, and hats, feel free to go to Aurora and drop those items off. Because really, the need is there, as we saw last year with the winter.
Right.
Some of those days we had last year were...
And if you don't have something like that to donate, cash is always welcome. Another project coming up is on Saturday, October 22nd, Make a Difference Day. And lots of groups are doing special things that day. Altrusa Club is doing something a little bit different. Again, it's for Salvation Army. We're collecting toilet paper and rolls of, actually packages of toilet paper. And they can be dropped off in front of the Salvation Army. There'll be a truck parked there, 417 Algoma Boulevard. And what happens is, because families come to the pantry and they don't normally get something like toilet paper, those paper products, personal products. And so when the pantry does receive those items, they end up opening the package, breaking it down to a single roll of toilet paper for a family for the month. And our members thought that wasn't really such a fun thing. So we're encouraging the students out there, instead of TPing the neighborhood for homecoming or anything, or some of the other activities, get a package or two of toilet paper, bring it over to the Salvation Army. It's something that is not normally done, but it's something that is greatly needed.
So are you collecting it anywhere else before that?
Actually, they can call my office at 651-3316, and we can sort of make arrangements for it.
Because sometimes that Saturday,
Right.
as we found out when we hosted events for it, it's such a busy day because there's so much going on. So as Judy said, give Judy a call, or you can call me too. We can store it for you.
Or Salvation Army will probably take it also.
And so because just because you can't physically be there that day doesn't mean that you can't take the time to donate the items. And you can find, you can go, like when the Bare Essentials had their campaign, you can go to the dollar store, Family Dollar General, and you can find it for $1 for 4 rolls. I mean, just think about how much you people, not me because I don't do it yet, go to Starbucks and all that and spend for that
I don't either,
cappuccino and all that. That could probably get you 3 rolls of toilet paper or 3 packages of toilet paper right there. So, you know, it's a good project to support, especially in our community. When you think about one family having 1 roll of toilet paper for a month, most people go through it in a day.
Right.
So.
So, one other thing, and this is at Aurora, November.
Yes, it'll be our 13th annual also. We started, when we first opened, we wanted something to bring people together, so we started with this little craft fair and a little potluck all in our conference room, and people loved it. And then Judy heard about it. And Judy joined.
Judy got brought into it by John.
And we've changed. And there's no potluck anymore, but the entire conference room, A and B, is transformed into a wonderful holiday craft fair, which our crew is great. There it is on the screen. Sunday, November 27th, which we've added and has been very popular, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then Monday, November 28th, 6 to 3. The reason we have 6 o'clock on there, Judy, is it because you and your crew like to get up early?
I'm an early riser, so for me that's not a big deal. And now that I live in the city, it's even less of a deal. But the primary reason for that is we have staff at the hospital that are there very early in the morning or late at night, and we heard so often that with the normal show hours, I work earlier, I can't get there. So we added the Sunday hours for the folks that are just doing weekend shifts, as well as the public coming in after church, or when we had the Packer game, the wives were out shopping. It's not when you normally find a craft sale, and we do, and the public is certainly invited. There is no fee for admission. The vendors are hand selected. They do pay a fee to participate, and that money goes to projects within Aurora. And then the Monday hours starting so early, that whole day we catch all 3 shifts.
And that's what the purpose was in the beginning, was to, because most times when places do a potluck over lunch, well, you're forgetting about second and third shifts. So we're trying to tie everyone in. The 2 important things that I think that Judy touched on was there's no admission fee. So we're not charging $1 just to come in and look. There's no fee. There's one central checkout, which is something that Judy started, where you only have to pay for the items once. You don't have to go to each vendor and pay for all the items. So we really do encourage you to check it out. I know it's October, but put it on your calendar, the dates on your calendar for this. And again, they're November 27th and November 28th in the first floor conference rooms at Aurora Medical Center.
Just beyond the piano and across from the gift shop.
Yep.
And a lot of unique and one-of-a-kind items.
Exactly.
I mean, they're gorgeous. It could be an art sale.
And Judy, we haven't even talked that much, and our time is up. So we want to thank our audience for joining us again for our Helping Hand show. We're so glad that we can be here and bring things from the community out to you to learn more about agencies and what's going on. I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh. Oshkosh Family. And thank you for joining us.